So, trucking's got a little weird lately. I would rather have done this one on the road, but I came home and I think this is something that we need to talk about because they've been talking about the bloodbath coming. I'm seeing the signs and I want you guys to be safe, so let's get on with it. But first, moonshine cherries. I made these because I feel that to get through this conversation, we're going to need liquor. And more of it than, yeah, we're going to need liquor. So let's get all this up and get on to the meat of the subject. We got ice. And we got cherries. About 19 figures of Jim Beam. More. And we'll top it off with a little bit of Coca-Cola. That's enough. And with that, we have a drink that I like to call drink. So, let's get on to the bloodbath. As you know, I've been very critical on lease programs. Not because of the drivers. The drivers, they're out to do what we all are. They want to make money. They want to own a truck. They think this is the way to do it. And I'm not talking about the drivers. But the bloodbath that's coming, here in the next couple of weeks, they're talking like fuel prices are going to continue to go up. They're at $5.25 a gallon here. They're over almost $7 a gallon in California right now. Those are pump prices. I'm watching my discount on my ComData card get smaller and smaller and smaller. This is getting serious. And this right now is where we need to start protecting ourselves as drivers. How do you do that? Well, it's going to hurt. And here's some steps, and this is for you lease guys, because you guys are going to suffer the most. So let me explain how that's going to happen. As I've stated before, a lot of you lease drivers are leased on to companies. And you drive for them, you drive their trucks and whatnot. And you're not getting your full fuel surcharge. You're not getting your full rate. You're working for a flat rate. The part I have a problem with is that. And with fuel going up as high as it is and them taking at least a minimum of 50% of your fuel surcharge, your fuel bill will literally double in the next 2 weeks. If it goes like they're talking. That's going to be a problem. You're going to have no recourse. And you are going to go broke. That's what I've been trying to get across to you guys. A lot of you guys lease trucks and you have brokers you deal with and you deal on the spot market. The spot market is something else. And that's going to be even worse for a lot of owner-operators. Let me tell you why. So y'all are dealing with your favorite brokers and you have people that you deal with to get loads. And so where's your surcharge? Are you getting a surcharge? Most of this broker freight that you got off the load board, there's no surcharge. They say it's factored in. But then when you factor it in and realize you're only hauling it for $1.75 a mile, that's not good money. That is not good money off a load board. The bottom feeders are undercutting you. That's something we'll talk about in a minute. So you guys are going to be the ones hit hardest. You need to get some real freight with some real surcharges. You need to cover yourself because it's going to bite you too. So what about the bottom feeders? Well, the bottom feeders are going to be the first ones to wash out. They're running for nothing. You know, I see a lot of these Amazon drivers. You know they don't pay. They're running it, you know. Apparently, they're doing something. I mean, I see them hauling it, but the trucks and people and companies I see hauling it, I know they don't pay. So, what about those guys? All right, is Amazon going to raise the price to cover those guys' wages? Doubtful. The part that I have a problem with is that a lot of guys are starting to hurt. The freight rate kind of is topped out, and the surcharge is going up. I got in a discussion the other day online, and a guy was being a complete tool, but yet said, you know, I said, you need to realize that these guys are going to get hurt. We were talking about that, and it's just too stupid to go into. But basically, he acted like, oh no, you know, it's all going to be fine. You know, you're just a driver. I'm like, dude, I'm self-employed. It's going to hurt me just like it's going to hurt everybody else. What's the advantage I have? The advantage is my truck's paid for, and I'm leased onto a company where I'm making good money. And even when the freight doesn't pay what I want, I'm still getting a decent surcharge. I'm still making money. We're in this business to make money. So what's going to happen to the bottom feeders? Well, it's going to be ugly. Well, the bottom feeders are going to start washing out at an alarming rate. Unfortunately, the bottom feeders, they haul a lot of freight. Unfortunately, for every one that washes out, there's two willing to take its place. You know, we don't haul this stuff for free. And so what's going to happen with that? Well, you're going to start seeing the prices like in the store already climb. And, you know, I was looking at a carton of eggs, which are a commodity. You know, that carton that I was paying $1.29 for 3 months ago, it's $3. You know, it's getting serious. So when the bottom feeders wash out, they're going to start coming to the mega carriers. And the part that makes me nervous about these bloodbaths that happen, and this has happened before, was that it starts washing out all the independents, but the mega carriers, even when they lose drivers, they still come out on top because they have the freight and the volume to be able to weather the storm, but also to be able to haul the freight. And when that happens, it puts a crimp on everybody because they're just as greedy as everybody else. They want the freight. They want to stay in business just like everyone else. So this is kind of something that's been on my mind lately. I want you drivers to be well. And what needs to happen? Well, I've got some ideas on that, but it's going to hurt. The problem that I'm having right now is apparently my phone mount. Let's try this. Alright. The problem that I'm having now is that the owner-operator is adrift. There's nobody to rally around. The Teamsters, they're gone. Don't even bring up the Teamsters. Yeah, they're still around in name, but as I've said before, there's no Jimmy Hoffa to rally around. There's nobody to speak for us. And I look at the stuff that's going on in Washington. LiQWYD is basically a neutered cat. You know, yeah, neutered cats still have claws, but they got no balls to deal with what's going on. So you just have to start looking around wondering what's the deal? What are we going to do about it? Because we're going to have to come together. It doesn't matter who you drive for. There's going to have to be some kind of a unionization. And as much as I hate to say that, because I'm pro non-union. I've had my druthers with unions. I've had horrible luck with unions. But this situation that we're in right now as drivers is the prime example of why unions existed in the past. We need the Teamsters now more than ever. Because it's not going to get any better until we have somebody like a Jimmy Hoffa to rally around. We are adrift. And this is what they want. Well, I don't want to get conspiracy minded, but if you don't have anybody to rally around, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever situation you're in. So here's my advice to guys who are thinking about buying a truck now. guys who are leasing, and guys who are thinking about starting out, because it's going to get ugly. So here's my advice. Guys, my advice is don't. If you got a good company you can lease onto that's going to be fair, that's going to pay you a good wage and give you 100% of the surcharge, and your truck's about paid for, and that's one thing. You guys that are leased onto companies and leasing a truck from the company, you're going to see here in a few weeks why I've been against this. My advice is, if you're in a walkaway lease, turn it in, become a company driver till this whole thing blows over. If you guys are buying a truck right now at $250,000 to $300,000 for a truck that you could have bought 2 years ago for $100 grand, don't. I know everybody wants to buy a truck, but when this thing crashes, it's going to take everybody with it, and you're going to be $100,000 upside down in a truck, and that is not a place you want to be. Your truck will be worthless. My truck, in a couple of years, it's 8 years old. It's almost worthless. That's the long and short of it. It's all simple economics and basic math. We need to protect ourselves from what's coming on. And when fuel spikes, if you guys are running strictly off the spot market, get away from that. Find what's going to pay and stick to that, because you need to protect yourselves. You know, don't cut your neighbor's throat. Don't be nasty. But you have to watch yourselves. And this is what I've been getting at, because what's going on is fixing to get really, really ugly. And it's going to get really ugly fast, and you're going to start seeing people drop left and right. So my advice to you lease drivers, here in the next week or two, you're still early enough in the year that you can make up your taxes as a company driver. But in the next week or two, you really need to look around. And if you're 2/3 of your income's going towards fuel and you got nothing going home, get out. It's not going to get any better. If you guys are, you need to jump. Well, I guess the whole point of what I'm trying to say is, you need to jump right now and get yourself in a position to where it's going to hurt less. Because, well, for instance, if your truck's about paid off and you got the money but you're just riding it out for the interest, pay it off. Pay it off now. Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but it's going to hurt a whole lot less than, $500-600 a week plus your fuel. You can make that up. You're going to need that $500-600 a week. So, just food for thought. I know I sound like a doomsdayer who's, well, I still haven't drank much of this. Just a minute. Tasty. I know I sound like a doomsdayer who is, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Part of why I started this channel was to help drivers. I know that a lot of my advice is laughed at, a lot of it's not watched, a lot of it, yeah, whatever. I get that. It doesn't bother me at all. But the whole premise of what I'm doing here is I want you guys and I want you drivers to be safe. I want you to be really safe. I want you to be protected. I want you to insulate yourself against things that are coming. I don't want you guys out there spinning in the wind wondering where your next meal is because you're broke, or you lost your truck because you couldn't make the payments, or this, that, there's a myriad of things. I want you guys healthy. I want you guys smart. I want you guys to be successful. My ideas may not work for everyone, but hopefully they work for some. Because what's going on right now, none of us have any control over. They're talking about speed limiters for trucks again, and that'll be horrible. But that's a whole nother video. But they're also, talking about freight rates are down, surcharge is up, and fuel is way up. I watched fuel go up 40 cents on Tuesday, I think. Tuesday or Wednesday. I filled up for 440 or 432 down south I got up to Sioux Falls and it was already up to $525, and with my discount I got it at $488. So it's on the rise. You know, whatever you guys need to do to save yourself, save some money, and, you know, be successful, you need to do it. Legally, of course. I mean, don't start hauling coke across the border, because that would be dumb. And it's mildly illegal. And from what I know about the government, they frown on that. But what I'm saying is, you got to start looking out for number one. And you lease guys with families, if you got all the bills at home, plus the taxes, plus the lease, get out and take care of your family. If that's what it takes, take care of your family. Because the company does not have your best interest in mind. So, just watch yourself. Now, I'm well aware this video may not be all that well received. It is what it is. But, you know, I know a lot of you lease drivers get made fun of, but I'm not here to make fun of you. You're out here doing the same thing we are because you're trying to do the same thing we are. And you're doing it. A lot of you are. And that's fine. I got nothing but respect for guys who really want to do this. But I also want you to be aware of your surroundings. I don't want you hurt. And it's already starting to hurt. You know, my truck's paid for. I'm very blessed in that fact. But in the same token, I've still got maintenance. I've still got all these other things, and I've still got fuel. Fuel's off the hook right now. I want you guys to be well, and if you're not getting your due, and these companies are holding back on you, you guys need to make a decision. You know, whatever decision you make is on you. But I started, like I said before, I started this channel wanting you guys to be smarter. Wanting you to be educated. Even if you don't agree with what I say, at least you thought about it. That's what I want. I want to invoke thought. So, where do we go from here? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that at all. All I know is that you need to put your family first. And if your paycheck isn't supporting your family, you're going to have to figure out something. Nobody's going to think any different of you if it doesn't work. Because truthfully, as I've said before, these leases were never designed to work. You were always at a disadvantage. It's like going to Vegas. The house always wins. Yeah, sometimes you win. But I just want you guys to do well. Things are about to get tough. Like I said, I'm hurting already. I'm hurting myself. There's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that I'm really not talking about. Like maintenance, and I'm going to be putting an APU on the truck here in the next couple of weeks. Thankfully, like I said, my truck's paid for. But you have to really watch what you're doing. Because when everything goes up in the truck, guess what? You know, you still got things at the house. My utilities are going up. The gas on my car is going up. My insurance is going up. Everything is going up. So, you got to take care of yourself. And that's pretty much what I'm getting at. Don't try, this is not a time right now to try to ride it out. It's not going to get any better for a while. And for what I know about a lot of lease guys, and I've seen this multiple times, is if you miss a week, it takes you 3 weeks to catch up. Guys go 2 and 3 weeks without a paycheck because they missed 1 week. We can't afford that anymore. So, this is the bloodbath coming. So, take care of yourself. If you got any questions, comments, criticisms, whatever, find me. I'm on TikTok too now. Under the same name. So, y'all be safe. Be prudent. Be wise. Try to make good decisions. And we'll see you next video.